Indonesia is thinking about building a huge seawall along the northern coast of Java to protect the island, especially Jakarta, from sinking and being submerged. Jakarta is sinking by up to 25 centimeters each year because of too much groundwater extraction and urban development. If the plan goes ahead, the project will include constructing a 120-kilometer coastal and river dike by 2030. By 2040, an adaptive seawall will be built to the west and east of Jakarta, and by 2050, the seawall will be closed with a reservoir. But can this be done? Floods in Jakarta are a persistent problem, especially during the monsoon season. In 2007, catastrophic flooding resulted in 76 deaths and displaced or otherwise impacted 500,000 people. Jakarta sits on a low, flat basin 23 feet above sea level, with 40% of the city, particularly the northern areas, below sea level. Continuous groundwater extraction and the pressure of skyscraper developments caused Jakarta to sink at a rate of 5 to 10 centimeters per year, with some areas sinking up to 20 centimeters. From 2000 to 2050, the potential coast flood's extent is expected to increase by 110.5 square kilometers due to both land subsidence and sea level rise, potentially submerging the city entirely by 2050. This could displace over 10 million residents, particularly those living closest to water bodies. To address this, a feasibility study for a dike on Jakarta Bay led to the National Capital Integrated Coastal Development Master Plan, aka the Giant Seawall Jakarta. Designed by the architecture of Cooper Compagnons of Rotterdam, the project is a collaboration between Indonesia and a consortium of Dutch companies, including the Witteveen Bos and Grondmij. The NCICD aims to revitalize the coastline and provide a sustainable future for Jakarta. The Jakarta City Administration plans to complete the first phase of coastal embankment construction by 2027. This wall, spanning 40 kilometers and standing 24 meters tall, is designed to shield Jakarta from relentless flooding. With a budget of $10.5 billion, the project aims not only to protect, but also to transform the city's landscape. The plan envisions a bustling urban space atop the wall, complete with residential areas, industrial zones, and lush green parks. The project also includes 17 artificial islands set to house 2 million people. But this isn't just about building a barrier. The Garuda seawall will incorporate advanced floodgate systems and a freshwater reservoir to address Jakarta's chronic water issues. The world watches with bated breath as construction gears up, hoping this audacious project will turn the tide and secure Jakarta's future. Beneath the vibrant urban landscape of Jakarta lies a grave threat. Excessive groundwater extraction driven by water shortages has led to the drilling of thousands, possibly millions of deep holes to access water. This relentless tapping into the Earth's reservoirs is further destabilizing the land. Additionally, Jakarta lies on the edge of the Java Sea, where water levels are rising by as much as 200 centimeters per year, exacerbating the flood problem. Currently, the city suffers damages estimated at $133 million annually due to flooding. By 2050, if no action is taken, a third of Jakarta could be underwater. The construction of the Garuda seawall is divided into 3 major phases. The first phase, with a budget of $10.5 billion, involves building a preliminary seawall to provide immediate protection against flooding, expected to be completed by 2030. This initial barrier will span 30 kilometers along the coast, essentially extending and strengthening the existing dike system overwhelmed during the devastating flood of 2007. The second phase will extend and reinforce the wall, creating a continuous barrier to withstand severe weather conditions and rising sea levels. The final phase involves completing the full structure of the Garuda seawall by 2040, including the creation of 17 artificial islands to provide housing for an estimated 2 million people. Building such a colossal structure requires cutting-edge technology and innovative engineering solutions. The foundation, constructed using reinforced concrete and steel pilings, must be secure to prevent undermining by the sea. Engineers will use prefabrication, building large sections offsite and transporting them to reduce construction time and minimize coastal disruption. The integrated floodgate system will manage water flow from Jakarta's 13 rivers, preventing water accumulation behind the wall. These automated floodgates will allow precise control based on real-time data. A critical feature of the Garuda seawall is the inclusion of a freshwater reservoir, addressing Jakarta's reliance on groundwater extraction. By collecting and storing rainwater and river water, The reservoir will provide a sustainable source of clean water, reducing the need for groundwater extraction. Environmental concerns are being addressed through extensive studies and safeguards, including fish passes and mangrove restoration areas to support local biodiversity. Despite its ambitious goals, the Garuda Seawall project faces numerous challenges. A study by Indonesia's Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries highlighted that the project could erode the islands in the western part of Jakarta Bay, destroy coral reefs, and lead to stagnation of polluted water behind the seawall. Dutch experts, however, argue that treated city water will result in rivers dumping clean water into the bay, thus preventing water stagnation. Nevertheless, the reclamation program has faced opposition from environmental groups and fisherfolk. Organizations like the Indonesian Forum for Environment WALHI and the People's Coalition for Fisheries Justice Indonesia Kiara appealed to halt construction on Islet G, one of the 17 proposed islets. But their appeal was rejected by the Supreme Court. The central government temporarily banned construction on the Jakarta Reclamation Project in 2016, citing the need to meet several requirements, but lifted the ban in October 2017. Critics warn that if the seawall fails to keep out seawater, or if the project is delayed or suspended due to economic turmoil, engineering difficulties, environmental impact, or political decisions, and if efforts to reduce land subsidence are not undertaken, downtown Jakarta could eventually become submerged. Moreover, while the project costs are covered by investors and the government, it's Jakarta's people who are bearing the brunt of the social consequences. Despite claims that the poor would benefit from these projects, Jakarta's poorest communities are the most negatively affected. In 2010, the city's government expressed concerns over the impact of climate change on the poor and promised to reduce their vulnerability to climate shocks. However, the expansion of Jakarta's seawall as part of the Seawall project led to the clearing of many kampung settlements and the forcible eviction of residents. These communities, among the poorest and most vulnerable, struggled to relocate to more permanent inland estates. Many residents relied on their proximity to the sea and their community for their livelihood, and their displacement has drastically altered their lives. If the ambitious Garuda Seawall project fails to protect Jakarta from sinking, the Indonesian government has an alternative plan: relocating to the capital of Nusantara, a purpose-built city in East Kalimantan province on Borneo Island, more than 1,000 kilometers away. As global leaders gather for the COP27 summit to discuss climate change solutions, Jakarta's plight serves as a vivid reminder of how people in developing countries are already grappling with the effects of a changing climate. Relocating a capital city is a massive undertaking, but the plans are well advanced. President Joko Widodo aims to host Indonesia's 79th Independence Day celebrations in Nusantara in August 2024, with core infrastructure ready for the first 500,000 residents. Bambang Susantono, leading the new capital's development, sees creating a city from scratch as an advantage, allowing precise control over planning, engineering, and technology implementation. He emphasizes that 65% of Nusantara will remain tropical forest, aiming to set an example of how cities can adapt to climate change. However, critics still raise significant concerns. While Jakarta's sinking is primarily due to unstable groundwater depletion exacerbated by rising sea levels, moving the capital might only relocate the problem rather than solving it. There are fears that Nusantara, built on forested land crucial for carbon absorption, might face similar issues of extreme rainfall and flooding. Furthermore, moving the capital does not address the crises faced by the millions who will remain in Jakarta, including the need for better spatial planning, groundwater safeguarding, and urban rethinking. Learning from Jakarta's challenges, Nusantara's planners aim to create a green, sustainable city. Plans include eco-friendly construction, public transport, recreational green spaces, and digital connectivity. The city is designed to achieve net zero emissions by 2045, with renewable energy, waste recycling, and sustainable water management. This vision is set against the backdrop of Indonesia's struggle to finance the $34 billion project, seeking investments to bring the high-tech, environmentally friendly elements to life. However, critics argue that moving the capital might not fully solve Jakarta's problems. Improved spatial planning and rethinking the city's function are essential steps. Some areas may need hard decisions, such as converting malls into parks to increase green spaces. Moreover, the decision to build Kalimantan has its own set of challenges, including deforestation and the potential for similar environmental issues. Climate policy experts stress the importance of community involvement in decision-making. Effective climate change solutions must include local community input, especially in developing countries where the impact is most severe. The climate change debate often centers on the needs of developed countries, but it's crucial to involve perspectives from regions like Southeast Asia, where the effects of climate change are most pronounced. The future of Jakarta remains uncertain. While the Garuda Seawall project offers hope, its success is not guaranteed. Meanwhile, the plan to relocate to Nusantara represents a bold but complex solution, raising questions about environmental sustainability and social justice. The ultimate goal is to create a resilient, adaptive urban environment that can withstand challenges posed by climate change. However, the transition must be managed carefully to ensure it addresses the needs of all affected communities. We're committed to releasing 2 videos a week. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more visionary builds.